Greetings, Soulswind here, and welcome to Let's Play Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath. This is the first episode of this main Let's Play series, and we're going to attempt the Iron Wizard mode. Before I begin, just want to reiterate that I started recording at field E4. That's because I got stuck there. I mentioned this before, but that field is kind of dependent on luck because of the bonuses that the monsters get that can be different, and it can matter whether we win or lose the round. Like for example, very fast monsters that are heavily armored and have got extra HP, that can really make us lose the game. After completing E4 all the way to the end of the game, I'm now restarting the Iron Wizard mode, and we are recording from the first field. As we reach E4, there may be some differences in the setup and in how I approach the recording, but I hope to keep this difference to a minimum. Without further ado, let's begin. You can see here that this was the completed one. We're not gonna touch that, we're going to start a new one. This is the Iron Wizard mode, so we're going to walk the path of the Iron Wizard. For veteran wizards who have the might to get to the Spirit Forge facing different rules. Beam skill given at the start, more waves, tougher monsters await you. 6 skill points are given for the first win on each field. Nope, 3. This is a mistake. 3, not 6. Open iron, brass and bronze stashes to get more skill points and skills. 3 stashes are placed on each field. No XP, leveling, talisman, traits, shadow core, endurance mode, trial mode. Achievements don't give skill points. It's quite difficult compared to the other modes, but we are able to proceed and complete everything. So let's begin our journey. Okay, no, not journey, because journey is actually journey mode. If you click on this, it actually says journey, but if you click on this, you'll not see the journey, which will appear here. Is it like igniting the orb or something? It looks more like lighting up the orb instead of like spawning an orb, but maybe it's magic, I guess. Click to create your first gem. Click to put it in the tower, and the game is about to start. They just make us start the game before we see. So we can pause by using the spacebar, and then unpause with the spacebar. The Q key changes the speed. The pause is by default the spacebar. When you hover your mouse over these waves, they do show each of the monster statistics and whatnot, and this slot here is for enraging the waves. Previously, you would need to use a gem bomb the waves to enrage them. The more times you gem bomb the waves, the more difficult the waves are. So if you were to put it here, you'll see that there are some benefits, and I think the level of the gem determines how much more bonuses they get. Anyways, we can speed this up by simply combining these two gems right from the beginning. And we can press Q to speed the game too. So, you see an achievement here. Sometimes when you actually get an achievement, and then if you restart a round after getting the in-game achievement, that achievement is actually registered in-game but not on Steam, so the Steam achievement will not be available. We can apply this. So this is the beam. It does 100% shot damage dealt in 1 second, 8 to 21. So every second it does that double, and then it lasts for 3 seconds. And then the firing speed is different in traps and whatnot. We'll talk about those later. The range limit is always 6 no matter what you do. Now we can level that up to, so we can speed it up and whatnot. And then we have these things that we can get also if you really want to. Just put it here and start getting change priority. Oh yes, you can right click on it to change the priority, going from the nearest to orb, least hit points, shielded, and highest armor. This is very important. This is also important in trying to salvage the situation by eliminating weaker monsters first to reduce the number of monsters that are reaching the orb. Then these are like carrying orblets, which we probably won't use. Highest banishment cost and whatnot. So specials, if you want the gem to focus on specials and anything that will be very costly if it reaches the orb. We've got the structure, which is important if it's close to the path, but you want it to focus on the structure. Of course, random we know, giants and swarmlings. Right. By default though, some of these things will still get targeted when there are no monsters around. Only special ones that give debuffs, if you target them, then they will not be automatically targeted. Instead, you will need to specially focus on structures. So we have giants coming in, and maybe we can summon these two first, I don't know. I think we're fine. We should be able to get this. So we can wait for them to come over, or we can summon them earlier by clicking. If we summon this by clicking, this will be summoned. If we click here, then both will be summoned. And when you click it and summon it earlier, you can see that this will actually fill up. See, I clicked on it and then it goes a little faster. And there, it says call a wave early. There. These stashes will be locked and invulnerable when the last wave, this one, when it starts. So if you want to get the stashes, there's a challenge to get it before the last wave. Otherwise, you know, you can always keep one last monster and spend enough time to get these while you make the monster run around. Yeah, that's a range limit. We can summon that too. So that, okay, so you see, these are here. Okay, when it's nearest to orb, you keep firing at this, but if you focus on swarmlings, it will only target swarmlings, you can see that. Even this, you can see the beam. It's hopping around, unless it is not in range, then it will target the giants. Okay, we can combine this by using the G key. And of course, you can upgrade using the U key and duplicate using D key by hovering your mouse over the respective gems. And you can speed it up as the game is about to come to an end. So this is 5 points. This is a skill tome, which we will have to come back for later. So this is, I can't remember what was the point here. But okay, that's 3 skill points you can see there for completing the field, not 6. So here, 6 in total, which means that that stash was 3 points. We have some statistics here. Oh yes, I was talking about the achievement. If you have an achievement and you restart the round, the achievement may be already registered, so it won't go on Steam. What you need to do would be to restart the game, then the achievement will be registered. More stats. So this little icon here indicates extra stat that you can take a look at by hovering your mouse over. Number of targets killed. Spells cast. Structures. And gem wasps. These are the different achievements, so if you don't see them pop up here, it's either I already have them or restart the game. So W2 is unlocked. Anyways, story elements are being unlocked as well.
I was one of the few wizards who spoke up against summoning more and more demons to use them as slaves and power sources, to feed the ever-growing hunger for power of the leaders of the Spirit Forge. The Wizard Council wanted to silence me, but I had eyes and ears in many places, and I was well prepared in advance to move before they could act. I wouldn't have a chance against their magic, powered by demons, so I fled. I went far to the freezing north as fast as I could and hid in an abandoned wizard tower. I didn't have much time to make myself home though. They found me quickly and used a devastating spell to freeze all the land around me to shattering ice. They just didn't bother to face me in person and get a cold, but their spell wasn't perfect. Everything froze to death around me. Everything. Except me. I somehow survived in a frozen but awake state, being imprisoned in ice for centuries to come. And I saw things. I saw everything as if I was there, looking through a thin flake of ice. I saw them murdering my fellow wizards. I saw them slowly losing the remnants of their sanity, and I saw them summoning an archdemon, one so powerful that they couldn't control or defeat. They locked her away, but as decades passed and she got forgotten, she always found a way to break free. I saw all these and all that followed as my wrath kept growing. But for some reason, I just thought, centuries passed. I feel numb, and I hardly have any magic left in me. I feel like I have to learn everything again. But I'm alive, and I had a long time to think. Now that no one remembers me, I will do just like the Forgotten. I gather strength and return to the Spirit Forge. From my last frozen visions, I know that the Forgotten is already on her way there, as well as a fellow wizard carrying the Gem of Eternity, the only relic of magic that can stop her. I have to be cautious. I'm weak, and monsters are everywhere. I will cast an Orb of Presence and explore the path ahead.
Quite foreboding there. Anyways, W2. So we have to come back because some of these stashes are not obtained yet. Also, let's take a look. We got the achievements. So every new iteration we have new achievements to obtain. 636. We have the journey notes. So these are the notes here. We also have statistics, which leads me to something I want to bring up. In my previous playthrough, from E4 onwards, those will be in recordings, and therefore you will see some discrepancies in these numbers. These are the different statistics, and there's going to be more here, I think, as we go along. The most important are the skills. We have got the mana stream, we've got fusion, which will reduce the cost of the first grade gems, like when we create gems, when we combine them. In the late game, I rarely need this one because you don't really create a lot of gems or combine them. I mean, every time you level up, eventually you use just one main gem and one secondary gem. It's kind of rare that we will use more than 2 gems. Most of the time, it is not very cost effective to have this leveled up. Even though in my research, I wrote down that fusion needed a lot more, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to reassign some of these points from fusion to other skills. This is not the initial mana, but initial mana bonus. So it gives 7 initial mana every skill point, and I don't think it changes because at the end it is still 7. Anyways, we can assign points, and as you assign the point, it costs more to get to the next level. So 1 point here, 2 points to the next level, and then 3 points, and then 4 points. So if we want to get more mana for level up, we start with less mana, so we need to find a balance for that. This is to decrease the gem cost and combination costs every 5 level. Okay, so every 5 level there is a special bonus, like for example lower mana pool every 5 level. This is combination cost. The cost to combine gems get reduced every 5 levels. This is beam, so its amount of time it takes to recharge is 1% reduction every time, but every 5 levels there's also 1 second extra duration on the beam. It's the same for all skills. They all have a secondary benefit every 5 level. So every 5 level that secondary benefit gains an additional percentage or gets more powerful. That's it for field W1. We managed to get the iron stash, but I think that was all we can get. Next episode, we are going to W2. Before we leave, let's return to W1 and take a look. You can see here, it is 8, 6, and 1.3 for hit points, armor level, and speed. Now let's reload the game. So this is 8, 6, 1.34. Mana per kill is 8. Banishment 24, 861.34. Let's reload the game again. 861.32. So you can see here that every load of the game, the attributes of the monsters are different. So it is kind of random. Sometimes you may find a wave harder than another wave. That's just because it is always random. So there's no need to keep track of whether this monster is this HP and this armor and this speed. Oh, and this is our wizard tower. You're alive again and safe, hiding here for the time being. To access the battlefield, you cast an orb of presence. Yep, we can gem bomb this thing to decrease the banishment cost. That allows us to have monsters leak into the orb and spend lesser mana to banish these monsters. It can be useful at times when there will be a lot of leaks and we cannot prevent them. Then we can arm it with some gem bombs to reduce the mana cost. That's it for W1. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.